Breaker, TR.
And you have a speaker, and the stream is live.
All right, let's see if this is actually going to work here.
On your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
brought to you by RADI.
The old Tube Radio Network.
HR with the Carlo Condenser Corporation purchase.
Hey, I am here. Okay, I'm just trying to find out where the controls are. Your Old Tube Radio Network. We are on the air. I will dispense with the formalities because I want to get everybody checked in tonight and make sure everything is working. So what we will do is start off with our early check-ins. If anybody's out there, we'll go ahead and try and get those on right now. Listening.
Breaker. 61, check in, Dennis.
All right, we've got a couple. Let's start. Let me get my list up here. Let's start with SWL61, who is sounding pretty darn good. Dino, we've got you checked in. Over.
Thank you, Dennis.
All right, who was the other breaking station for early check-in?
You got the Fresno Legend 53 checking in there, Dennis.
All right, 53, the Legend. We should say still the Legend. I know there are a lot of people that want that job, but you are the incumbent for sure. Mr. Belair, we've got you checked in. Over.
Thank you very much. Have a good weekend there. 73. I'm back quiet. SWL 79.
SWL 79, listening from afar and listening very close and sounding good doing both. Mr. DC, I have you checked in. Over.
Thank you, sir. 195.
195 from up the hill, sounding pretty darn good, and I will put the X in the proverbial square. You are sounding good, Jim.
Thank you, Dennis. I had company last weekend, so I didn't check in, but thank you.
All right, I'm checking. Looks like somebody proxied you in, and company is a good thing. So glad you got to do a visit, and thank you for visiting with us. The Old Tube Radio Network. I think the video stream is up. The audio stream appears to be up. Larry says he's going to have, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Going to have, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen. His stream up. His stream up. Okay, so I hear my thing. We'll turn the audio down and we'll have it. Okay, so I hear my thing. We'll turn the audio down and we'll have it. Okay. Yeah, get rid of that. We'll have that ready to go for your dining and dancing pleasure. Let's start with the roll call. If you need to get checked in as we go along, you can jump in. Tube Radio's coming up. My name is Dennis, one of the many net controllers to sit in the air chair of the Old Tube Radio Network that has been beaconing these airwaves. Channel 11, 27085 across the central San Joaquin Valley, and sometimes even on the Universal Media Netweb streaming worldwide for a long, long time. So thanks for joining us. Our local stations are maybe skip land. If you are standing by with your radios, we'll see what happens. The nighttime DX hasn't been that great. The daytime DX has been exceptionally well. I know a lot of you have been chatting around the earth. So we'll see what we can do tonight about getting everybody checked in. 00 is first on my list tonight. And indeed, I see Chrissy out there, the Jumping Dolphins. So 00 is in. We'll just go right through that. Thank you, Chrissy, for getting us started out. SWL number 1. And I'm putting a proxy in for 2, because I think he asked me to do that, but he just might show up unannounced and say, I am here. So we'll make that an unproxy check-in. I'm also going to get Rob, Mr. Lone Eagle, SWL3 checked in. That will take us to SWL number 5, Levant. I quickly ran over to Old Radio Night, and we'll check in with them just a little bit later. So I wasn't sure who was listening and out there tonight, but Levon is in, giving everyone the happy Saturday salutation from where? Hudson Valley, way out there. All right, thank you, Levon. Let's go a little closer to home for SWL7. I've got a proxy in for Mr. Ed, who may pop in just a little bit later. Chrissy has the 2-for-1 coupon, the 2-for-1 deal with an X in the square. Then we've got the dynamic duo, SWL11 and SWL12. That's Dan and Dapper Dan with a little cornbread on the side. And Dan is there. Dapper Dan is feeling dapper. And sorry, no autographs. You know what? I signed a few today, and I spelled my name wrong. So they said, no, you cannot do that anymore. So thank you. Thank you, 10. Thank you, 11 and 12. You are doing well. I sort of ran into the studio, so my dapper quotient is down. But as the evening wears on, I will be doing better. Let's go to an early check-in for SWL 24. I hear you. Over.
24 checking in. Have a good night.
All right, thanks for stopping by. A lot of stuff. Speaking of stopping by, a lot of stations stopping by. Let me see if SWL 13 is out and about. Okay, that was a check-in from long ago, so I will hold off on Mr. Cobra. I do believe I heard this station a little bit earlier, beaconing from Sangertown, SWL 14.
Yeah, SWL 14, checking in. Hoping to keep my eyes open and get radio checked in this evening, later tonight.
All right, well, if we can hang on for an hour, we'll get you into the top of the page when we do that. We would like to hear from you and all the radios out there tonight, so hopefully you will be able to do that. So thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks, Dennis. Looking forward to it.
This station is in Alpha 173. Thought I saw Denmark beaconing in on one of my... Let's see, I need to press this button here if I do that. All right, one of my streams here, and I know Hans is listening in. Yeah, he's right in the center tonight. You can either go up the stairs, you can go down the stairs, you can stay right there because we will get you checked in. Looking good. Thanks for joining the Old Tube Radio Network. I'm trying to find the unkey button. Charlie is here as always, kind of helping keeping things together. It was a last-minute battle. We had some technical difficulties and some goes-intas and goes-outas that weren't quite right. I think everything is good. The meters look good. Actually, you know what? I just see the stream audio for some reason. Hello, radio. Stream audio is down a little bit, so I can make an adjustment. How do I do that? I can make an adjustment on that. I don't want to blow anybody's ears out here, but we'll try that. So there are many things that we have to attend to and look at. So that might help you if you're struggling to hear me. So thank you, Charlie, as always, for helping us stay on the air everywhere. Watching the program, repairing a Philco 84 tube radio. Who's the YouTube guy? There's a couple of them that do the old radio repairs. I've got some of those. I think I've subscribed to a couple of those stations. It's kind of fun to watch that, the 84 tube radio. I wonder how many tubes are in the Philco, and if it's non-transformer, then you got to be careful when you plug the thing in. So Philco will probably look good sitting on the desk, or if it's a big one, I think a Philco is probably a desk model. Let's go to SWL 17. Shortwave listener 18. I've got Mr. KDA checked in from Facebook. And put put that on there. See, now my audio just went way back up. SWL 19. I can see this is going to be a fun issue. Wow, it's way up. This is going to be a fun issue tonight. So my apologies to the digital SWLs that are going to be putting up with this level insanity that we were trying to chase through. Do our best job. Chet is in. Thank you for the cue cards tonight. And do we have a pen? Oh, you have it right here. You put it right on my desk. I will put it in front of me so I won't, so hopefully I won't forget about it tonight when the time comes around. As always, thanks for joining us. Let's go to SWL 20.
Number 20 here. Please check me in along with 29 and 54. And I will have a radio of interest tonight. Thank you.
All right. When you're on sounds pretty darn good already. You're nice and loud and good to have you in the air chair ready to go. So hopefully it was a great day.
Oh, it was. And still is. Okay, see and talk to you later.
All right, thanks. SWL 21, Mr. JT from Old Radio Night, where if I click on the right video, I know there was a duck. Or it was a chicken. It wasn't a duck. Oh, the video went away. Let me refresh the page. It was up there earlier. And let's see if it's the right date. I don't know why it's trying to find, yeah. No, okay, let me let me go to the You can see why I'm laughing here. Here's the, you know what? I don't have my other setup.
I didn't get to wear that.
There's the audio.
That he had.
And this should be.
Really look at it.
There it is.
Online when I bought it.
Where did it go?
But he's always saying he's
default.
There we go. Switching in the kitchen. And he's wearing an apron with no clothes on and all that, So I figured that.
There it is.
He's a pretty good sized guy, And
so what is with the chicken tonight?
I figured that
Old Radio Night.
Something that his better half
on a radio coming to you on Saturdays.
Bus. Try to looking at the side of a bus maybe
before this program, and I will let you. I will defer to you. Should tune in the replay video and find out what that is all about. 21, you are checked in tonight. See, we're still in prime time here on the West Coast, so I got to be careful. I got to be careful where I click on that video tonight. Direct-to-net roll calls where we're at. Where I'm supposed to be out there anyway. SWL 22. Is Tyler in with us tonight? He'd be checking in from very Anchorage, where it's probably extremely cold. SWL 23. Mr. 23 Skidoo, man about town. We probably should be hearing from the Espresso Trucking Company in upcoming weeks. I think they start their spring tour or the end of their winter tour, so we should be doing that. SWL 424 checked in moments ago. Shortwave listener 25, who is leading the band tonight. As always, I'll get 25 and 74 checked in. Let's go to SWL 27. SWL 28. Let's see if Gary is around. And what is on the mid-century modern menu tonight? It's all ready for the Super Bowl party. Well, yeah, there's a big. If that's where everybody is in the green room, they're having a big pre-Super Bowl party, gassing up the limo for the VIP contest. I think they've got video screens on just about every row of seats in the big red and blue limo. So we're going to try and have a game-winning show. I'm just going to try not to mess things up. Thanks, Gary, for joining us. I got a proxy check-in for 2-9, and also Dwayne is in front of the, is it the Browning tonight? It's probably in front of the Browning. He's got the Robin ready to go, just in case we get some skip plan. In the house tonight, right here in front, of course, Derby, New York, the unknown SWL. Look for the station. Look for the person running around with the bag and the rubber ducky. Hello to Plymouth, Minnesota. Centerville, Virginia, coming up to you. El Dorado Hills, California. I think I talked to somebody on 40 meters in El Dorado Hill. Where's that REA meter? Oh, okay. We're looking good there. Orban is looking good. Who else is in? Middletown, Ohio. Liberty Lake, Washington, and Englewood, Colorado. Up in the high balcony tonight. Up in the snow. Rob is up in the up at the snow line. Got the beams and everything pointed this way just in case. Something where to break loose in the ether tonight. Then, let's see, I don't have that. We go to SWL 33. Yeah, that's a half-hearted honk on the old proboscis, but at least it's there. Let's see if Jimmy and gang are in from somewhere near Chicago, SWL 34. I didn't get a chance to go through I was so busy, didn't get a chance to go through the Facebook pages, and many of them that Jimmy runs, but see what was going on, see if we've got any, sometimes I like to take some pictures. We get some really good photos of radios and things like that. Speaking of good photos, I'm going to see if the one I think I have, is right here for our next check-in, SWL 35. Mr. Bill and Red Monkey Communications. There is the shot of the Red Monkey mobile showroom, Cheyenne, Wyoming, and you see the snow on the ground, bigger and better than ever, and always making sure that people that would like to get on the air can get on the air with the very good warehouse wares. So Mr. Red Monkey used to have a shop right here in town, keeping a lot of us on the air, and now he has spread his radio joy across the land with the CB Radio mobile showroom. Anyway, thanks, Mr. Bill and Red Monkey Communications, for all that you do and checking in tonight. Back to the control room, looking for SWL 36. Shortwave listener 37.
37 here, Dennis, and good evening.
Good evening, sir. I will put the X in the square, and I hope you have a log burning somewhere. It's cold out there.
Nah, I just got the furnace going.
All right, well, that will provide a little bit of heat.
That's true.
And I'm back to the J38 key up because I forgot to rehook in my haste. I forgot to rehook the foot switch. Maybe that's not a bad thing. Little contortion here of the radio desk, but at least I know I'm going to be keying up. Thank you, Chris. Over to Sam, SWL 38, out in beautiful Byron, California. Who else is joining us? Rob says 27 inches of snow since last weekend. May need to raise the towers up a bit. I remember that. We used to go up to Sierra Summit. We had a camera up there for the TV station. It was on a 15-foot pole so that people couldn't, go up there and fool with it. And when we have a lot of snow, we go up there to try and clean the lens, and the camera's right here. It's at eye level because it's 10 feet of snow. The pole is right there. It's like you don't have to climb anything. It's funny how that works. Hey, there's 34. We are on the same 30 row, so I will get 34 checked in, Captain Chaos, and all those following along on the 34 caboose. Tonight, I got busy and I didn't have a chance to go through any of the Facebook pages earlier like I like to do, so thanks for stopping by, Jimmy, and thanks for putting 25 hours in a 24-hour day. I don't know how you do it, but manages to get everything up and running and in and out and good for everyone to see. Looking for SWL 39. I wanted to see who is also joining us tonight. Got you checked in 38, no problem. Mr. Roman. Hello, radio. Takes a while to kind of work around the room here between the Echo link and the crossband link and the audio link and the video link and the live link. Mr. Roman checking us, the Old 2 Radio Network, something we've been doing here live on the air, Channel 11 in the Central Valley of California since the mid-1980s. And then thanks to current technology, streaming video and audio for your pleasure. So hopefully you get on the air wherever you are from. We are getting on the air on 8 o'clock on Saturdays. We talk about and check in the tube radios. They'll be coming up. Right now we're saying hello to our listeners like yourself from all over the place, checking in and saying howdy. Who else? Mark is in. Mark Sandquist. Hello, Private Thor. I like the bozo. I like the trumpeting bozo. We'll see if we can't catch you guys at the end of the program, at the end of the net. I think the link is up and running. Foxman 362 checking in. Thanks for that. 10-4 on the European Super Bowl. Hello, Peter. Black Duck, United Delta X-Ray 294 Tennessee. Checking in and giving a thumbs up to Old Radio Night from Palm Springs, where it's always nice in your mid-century modern home, driving your 1959 Continental. Says a tram doctor has been putting up some interesting videos lately on his new CB Radio History channel. I'll have to look that out. Maybe we can work a deal to steal a snippet or two. Ron, I think it's Ronald, right? Ron does a good job. He's been doing a good job of keying things up and putting stuff on the air and making them work, or trying to make them work anyway. So we'll check out Tram Doctor. Hello, Ken. Checking in from afar. Douglas, 111, 428. Oh, I see. You're saying hi to 428. Hello. Thanks for joining us here tonight. And a host of others. I just want to make sure I say hello radio to those who are beaconing across the video tonight. I think I saw, let's see, on the cell. Sean is off the cell phone, I think. 4570, Rusty Choo Choo from Palm Springs. Caller Radio joining us once again. Anybody seen that 200-foot antenna X transmitter that vanished from WJLX? I read about that. Then they were saying that the station had been dark and the transmitter hadn't been on because it's very difficult to steal an entire tower. They cut through the ground wires when the radio's on, and that's a bad thing. That can be bad to your health, especially if you're doing a 50,000 watt AM. But they steal the ground wires off while they're on the air. But it's still the entire tower. I think the FCC was investigating that one, wondering, wait a minute. check your logbooks. There's going to be an NAL to do with that, I bet. Rusty Rail, Central Arkansas, checking in on OTR. Just finished their own small local check-in in Central Arkansas. Good fun. It is good fun to get on the radio. We're glad you can do it. And glad that people can do it here on the Old Tube Radio Network, Central California. And I'm just checking to see. Hans is in. We got you checked in. We didn't do the live coast to coast, but probably because I got started a little bit late. And 69, there's Kenny. Kenny, we'll get you checked in. I see you in there if you're still watching. Craig is in. We'll get you checked in. Do we have... yeah, Tony's on the Echo link. We will do that coming up. All right, I think we've got the video side looking pretty good. Back to the direct net roll call. SWL 40.
SWL 40, checking in here from Chinatown. And speaking of television cameras, did you know that some of television cameras had thorium in the lens. I bet you didn't know that.
Well, I know they were Satacons, Plumicons, Image Orthicons, the chip tubes. Was that your signal? I pulled up the Larrycam, which we will be referring to tonight. And there is a you're kind of blowing the front end out of your SDR there. Let's see if the audio's up. So what is thorium?
Hang on, I got to knock at the door.
Referring to tonight. And there is a okay, but anyway, it is working. You're kind of blowing the front end out of your SDR there. Let's see if the audio's up. Yeah, I want to make sure the Larrycam is back up. So thanks for checking in. Over. Back to the control room here, where the audio is going back and forth. SWL, who's next? Let me make sure I'm on the right page. SWL 41, Road Dog 507. I better listen to the R-band meter. Yeah, I can see that. I can see the levels going up and down. I think my audio board has seen better days. And Tracy, we'll be coming up to you. Let's go to SWL 42. I think it's only my audio that's doing that. At least I'll be able to track that down a little better. SWL 43. SWL 44. Give a proxy check-in for 360. Maybe he's got Super Bowl tickets this year. Maybe he lucked out. SWL 45. Paul and Kelly, get you guys checked in if you're listening. Hope all's well up there surviving the weather. SWL 46. Shortwave listener 47.
Good evening from the Radio Lounge. This is SWL 47.
All right, the Radio Lounge. I hope you have the heat lamp going on the Radio Lounge, or you've got an appropriate amount of tube radios to keep things warm.
You know, we've got the hottest radio in the collection right now, and it's doing a great job of warming the lounge up. We are not cold here.
All right, good thing. We will be checking in radios in moments, so join us then, won't you?
Will do.
All right, very good. And Mr. Bill, I see you checking in. The Red Monkey Show is on the road yet again. I did like that picture. Let's go to Sam, SWL 48. Someone says, check in Sam. I will check in Sam. Let's go to SWL 49. That secret handshake, and we change it every week. I don't even know what the secret handshake is anymore. So that's why we said, well, if you don't know the secret handshake, we will check you in anyway. I see a Road Dog 507, SWL 41, the Tri-County React, Hudson Valley, New York. Saying good evening to everyone, and good evening right back. Let's go to SWL 50. Out to somewhere near Sangertown, SWL 51.
SWL 51, check in.
Sounding good, sir. Dave, I've got you checked in on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Tempo, Dennis, have a great evening.
And who just checked in? X or Romeo Delta Victor out in Reading. Good evening. From Reading Town, another KB6. Just like me. And you're a Romeo, I'm a Golf. So let's see, G, F, D, H, I, J, K. So I don't know, what, about 1988? 87. I don't know how they went through the calls. I'm an 84. So if you're an R, well, that's at least got to be a couple years. So I'm going to say like 88. And still using the call, just like me. We're not not ashamed to use the novice call, right? Unless, of course, that's a vanity to get your your initials in there or something. You could be pretty tricky. Let's go to SWL 52.
I have made it back to the air chair in time, Dennis. SWL 52 behind the golden microphone. I successfully transitioned my coax switch back to the Antron 99 after installing the other antenna. So it's good to have options.
Yeah, all right. Hope everything went well at the bash. You sound good on the radio. We're talking to Aaron 52 this afternoon on 40 meters. Sounding good. Sounding good on any antenna on any band. So we've got you checked in.
Roger, roger.
Great, yeah.
And I think there's actually a YouTube video. I don't know if that's still up and running, but there might be a YouTube video of that.
It is still there if you go find it.
All right. If they go find it, if they dare. All right, thanks for checking in. The breaking station, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, Dennis, there's a Mr. Roman on the YouTube asking how he can get a number, and Chrissy was trying to help him, and she was trying to get your attention, so I thought I'd bring that to your attention.
Okay, very good. I saw Mr. Roman in there. So what I will do, I actually think I've got some availability. So at the end of the roll call coming up, we'll see what's on there to get Mr. Roman on the list of lists. And again, you don't have to be on any list or anything like that to jump in and say hello, radio. Get on the video side, check in that way. You got a radio, of course, when we do the radios. That is sort of a requirement to have some glowing in the dark radios. So do not go away, sir. We will be back to you at the end of the roll call coming up. And yeah, I apologize because I have many distractions here in the radio room, and many items from which to choose. So sometimes my latency factor is on the high side sometimes. Thanks, Dennis. Let's go to SWL 53. Oh, you know what? Mr. Bellard checked in early. So that'll give us to SWL 54. I got a proxy check-in as we turn the page, and then up the hill to SWL 55.
55, check it in.
All right, looking good. Just have to get onto the right page here. I'm running out of desk space. There's too many pens and Post-its. Sounding good.
Thank you, Dennis.
Over to locally somewhere, SWL 56.
Good evening, Dennis and the net. 56, just for kicks.
The kicks are good. You know, I haven't seen. Perhaps the rubber duck is in the shop for repair, but I haven't seen the Running Man on the charts lately. But I know he must be around somewhere.
Yeah, he's just slowing down a little bit.
All right, like me. I am up there tonight. I managed to turn on the right things. Anyway, you are sounding good and running well tonight in the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks for joining us. Direct and net roll call. The Old Tube Radio Network is where we are at. Where you are at live here on a Saturday night, and perhaps watching the replay. Giving yourself a radio check. You can do that. If you were on there, see the S meter. I think I've got the S meter in line. SWL 57, I'm supposed to proxy in Jeremy, who is on the air somewhere, but not here tonight. Over to SWL 58, I'm sorry. Let's do this again. 57 is Brown Dog Audio. He's scratching his head. He said, wait a minute, when did I change? Yeah, 57 is BDA out of Central Kentucky. 58 is Jeremy. So Jeremy gets the proxy check in. 57 will get the actual big time X in the square. Over to SWL 59, Uncle Hairball from his staged appearance over at Old Radio Night. Whether he was live or Memorex, I'm not sure. And around the corner and up the street to SWL 60. Are you there, Joe, or are you at the Super Bowl party?
Well, not quite, Dennis. Doggone it. Don't remind me. It's coming up too fast for me. I've got a little interest in the game, and It's been a lot of anxiety to even think about it. SWL60 on Jake's base, the 291, checking in.
All right, there's a radio that has been jumping in almost as long as we have been broadcasting. Do we broadcast? We can't say that. Has been transmitting here on the Old Tuba Radio Network. And I'm sure 291 is saying, yeah, it's still sounding good. And you're making it sound good. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you much, Dennis, and good luck to those fellas CBers that have interest in the Super Bowl. Good luck to you fellas.
All right, that is coming up. Well, what's the other big thing? We've got the World Ag Expo coming up. That's always down in Visalia, Tulare. People from all over looking at tractors and stuff like that. So if you don't like the Super Bowl, you can go look at tractors. SWL61 checked in moments ago and might still be out there. I don't know. It's way too cold to be outside. SWL62. SWL63. Shortwave listener 64. Craig is there out in Wisconsin. He joined us earlier. I have yet to catch Mr. Craig on the ham bands, but I am hoping to do that. And looking good, checking in. SWL 65. I've got a proxy check-in for Eric. We can do that.
Oh, thank you, Dennis.
And a little extra audio. Turning up the audio, turning down the audio for the people on the stream. Over to SWL 66. You know, I could try wiggling the cable, but I think that's just going to be a bad thing. I think that's a Pandora's box in the making. So I think I know where that might be. Let's go to SWL 67. Unless it goes completely out. Bill in Oregon, I will get you checked in. You might be tuning us in, watching us on the Universal Media Net web. Sam watching the truck polls at the Ag Show. Do they do that? I had a friend that went to that for 35 years because he was editor of a dairy magazine. He used to stop by here in town. And I think he was more concerned about the cows than the truck polls. But it's a big deal. It is a international, people from all over come to that for the 3 days coming up, starting, I guess, tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. World Ag Expo. Over to, where are we going? SWL 68. I've got a note to check in Michael, which I will do. SWL 69, hello, Radio 2. Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Kenny, we miss you out here on the West Coast. So stay warm out there, but thanks for joining us on the Old Tube Radio Network. SWL 70. I can see why I put in the foot switch. My finger's already getting tired on the J38 key. SWL 71. I defined you, Stan. You scrolled off my screen right under the Kenny. Checking in. SWL 71 out of Dallas, Georgia. I was on 40, but I didn't hear any contesting this afternoon, so I'm not sure what was going on. We had a good time, though. SWL 72. SWL 73. Shortwave listener 74 with a proxy check-in. SWL 75. Shortwave listeners 76. RTTY contest. All right, no wonder I wasn't in the right spot on the band. I was doing that telephony thing. Let's go to SWL 77.
Well, good evening, Dennis, and all the listeners. I hope everybody is having a great Super Bowl weekend, and stay safe, stay warm. 73s from 77.
All right, good rules to live by here this weekend. Stay safe and stay warm, and check in if you can. Stop by. What do they say on Citizen Band Radio? Wave a hand or two or three if you got it. Wave them all. You're sounding good.
Thank you, sir.
From Wild Wildemar, SWL 78. I'm not surprised I didn't hear Richard on 40 this afternoon. Mr. DC 79 checking in moments ago. And while we're there, while he's here, while he's on live and direct from Sand Hills, the Kakalaki on board doing some off-channel stuff on that other lower frequency, where I think, is that FM? Is that the FM channel? I don't think so. I think that's not the FM frequency. Anyway, so many from 20 years ago. Are good. Okay. I missed that, but have fun. The band has been good. 11 meter, 10 meter. The beacons are beaconing. 147. Thanks for joining us, Neil, out there in Fayetteville. Ain't radio great? You know, I like that. I like this radio stuff. A wire and a rig, and you know what? You don't get a bill at the end of the month. I've talked to 400 people on what that's going to cost. Well, that's costing. Nobody's billing you for that. Just the initial cost. Let's see, have I turned the page yet? No, I have to check in SWL 80 if I haven't already. And I was gonna hold up the don't forget to feed the fish shirt, and it is not here. It's over. We were partying. We had it over by the limousines showing off. So I don't know if I run out there at the break here before the tubes, maybe I'll pick it up and show the flag around. Let's see, a special hello radio, as we often do, as we often say at the L2 Radio Network, to my alum from Muffled Bucket University. We were on 40 this afternoon, Brian. We missed you. Maybe you were listening. Maybe you were one of the SWLs. The band was open pretty good. They used to say, turn on. That's right. And I have a picture somewhere in a pantry. I really do have a picture of Dr. Timothy Leary. He was the person that said, turn on, tune in, and drop out. What we say is turn on, tune in, and check in. Whether it's on the list, off the list, like Brian did, just joining us on the video page, adjusting his muffled bucket microphonium for perfect audio on that very narrow bandwidth. Thanks for joining us, Brian. I'll look forward to seeing you and others on the Armature radio frequency. Let's go to SWL 81. SWL 82.
82, checking in from the ditch banks of Biola. Good evening.
Good evening, and hello, radio. It was good to talk to you guys on 40 meters. We had a little 40-meter patio party out near the Radio Shack today and this afternoon on 40 meters, and somebody recorded it and put it up on the Universal Media Net web, so you know I'm not lying. You are sounding good. I wanted to... wait, take another transmission, Dr. Ron.
All righty. Yeah, very interesting conversation today on 40 meter with the other gentleman. I believe he's from Redwood City. Yeah, Chuck was very interesting. Anyway, back over to you, Dennis.
Chuck, either off or on the medications, we weren't quite sure. The voice you just heard, Ron, Mr. Bones, will be very familiar if you tune in. If you turn on, tune in, and dial up the Ditch Banks sideband net Fridays, Pacific time, on 36 lower, 27,365. And sometimes it is streamed, sometimes not. But he has a very good transmitter and good receiver, so we have conditions at 8 p.m. on Friday on lower sideband. He might even hear you and say hello radio. So thanks, Ron, and boy, you don't even want to know by kind of a wire mess I had after I left 40 meters to get this thing going. So it's kind of clip-leaded together, but it's working.
You might need another studio. Studio A, Studio B. There you go. All right, Dennis. Thanks for the show. Carry on.
All right, I think I need less. Less is more when it comes to radio. You need the microphonium, the radio, and that coax going out to the antenna, and you can work the world. Let's go to SWL 83. You know, Gary, they were tossing the carrots and the olives out of the little vegetable tray around. It was getting wild out there. I told them, if you have to do that, you got to go outside. I mean, it's okay. It's okay for a little mischief once in there, but I am fretting what it will be like tomorrow if the wrong team wins. Whoever the wrong team is. We always want the right team to win, whoever that is. SWL 84. You know, Jerry was on 40 meters as well on the noontime net on his old tube Swan radio, sounding really good as always. So I'll get Jerry checked in. And in fact, the whole gang, Paula, Mountain Maid, Tandy Girl, Snowy Owl, the 4 in a row, and they were gracious enough. You see over my left shoulder here, the on-the-air, kind of in the dark there, the on-the-air light, provided by those 4 people, those 4 old tube radio aficionados there. So thanks for that. Let's go to SWL 89. SWL 90. And what is that? Somebody's shining, it's shining a light down here into the control room from the balcony, and it is none other than Flashlight 23 SC coming over from old Radio Night to check in. Is it still queued up? Wait a minute. Let me go back to old Radio Night just to see what is going on. I like the chicken there. Let's go to a little replay.
Y'all want to watch the game, or you want to have like a, I don't know. I mean, at least that they got people watching it. I don't care.
He's on the Courier. Is that the right one? Yeah, it's the right one.
The stuff that people eat.
Something happened to the bird.
I used to watch it years ago. I used to watch it some. I didn't really watch it all year, but I'd watch the Super Bowl just because somebody. Did you see that field goal that they kicked from the 1 yard line?
Isn't that the truth? You either are talking about the game or about the, in broadcasting, we watch halftime to see the commercials. Did you see that? I don't know. Maybe I didn't. So, old Radio Night. We are directing that roll call, looking for SWL. Where did I stop? Felix. Felix is saying next. SWL 91. And then SWL 92. 777 SWL 93. I don't know, Foxman. I don't know what happened to the chicken. I'm going to let JT tell us what happened to the squawky chicken there tonight. From beautiful Orlando, Florida, SWL 95. We're saying good evening to everyone. Thank you, 95. I heard this gentleman earlier. Dennis, if you are out there, take a transmission. Otherwise, I will get you checked in.
Yeah, I'm out here. This is 96 checking in. I want to wish everybody a great weekend. And if you're a 49er fan, have a great time, I hope. Anyway, take care. And thanks, Dennis, for doing what you do.
All right. And here on the West Coast, there might be a few 49er fans doing that stuff. What are they saying? They say check your transmitter. All right, let's go over to the REA meter. A little bit of positive peaks on the forward, negative peaks at about 99 to 100, and the positive asymmetrical modulation and the scope for those watching the video. If we do a little tone, little sine wave, There you go. All right. The kids love it. The kids love it when we do that. Back to the old Tube Radio Network. Looking for SWL 97, and Jim is there. I think so. Yeah. He's waving a hand. Good buddy. 10-4, and he just got down. Or just get up. You key up and you key down. You get down, but you key up. And maybe that's it. You have to key up. You have to key up before you can get down. Or is it you get down so you can key up? I'm always confused. That's why I'm just not good at Citizen Band Radio. That's why they put me here in the chair. They say, just let him talk, and then at some point they'll check in the radios and he can just stand by. All right, put the official X for 97. And who did I see? Oh, there's 59. All right. Uncle Hairball is officially checking in with the check marks. Looking good, thanks. Let's go to SWL 98. Tracy, I did see you in there. Let me get, this didn't work. That worked. SWL 98. Uh-oh, the internet is going slowly. SWL 98. Thanks, Tracy. I'll get you checked in. SWL 99, Radio Randy. I talked with Randy this week on 75 meters with his big, good-sounding station. So I'll get Radio Randy checked in. Okay, let me do a technical thing so I can get over to the Echo link here. Okay, I think I got it now. I had too many connections. Going over to the Echo link. Our purveyor of tubes on the air, TOTA. Tony from McClellanville, South Carolina. And Tony, if my audio is kind of wacky, I apologize. It was just kind of rushed to try and get to the feeds to all the various items of interest. But what is going on in McClellanville? And thanks for checking in. And how are those tubes? Over.
Hey, good evening, Dennis. Please check in SWL 100. The tubes are ready to be turned on, and back to net control, KD4BAO.
All right, well, that is a good thing. We'll be coming up with the tube radios after the roll call here in just a couple of minutes. And as always, you are ready to fire up the 6L6 and launch us off. Thanks for joining us tonight from South Carolina, 73, KB6GFD. And I don't think I've talked with Tony over the big two-way yet, but that will come. Into the triple digits we go. SWL 102. And he is there, just finished his work week at the best job in the world. I thought that's what I had on Saturday nights, but there are a lot of good things you can do. Where else can you get paid to tell a state trooper where to go? Was it that way? Was it exit stage left? Maybe it was something else. But it's fun to know that that might be somewhere in your official job title. That's like, yeah, that's okay. So sounds good. And you'll have fun until Daddy takes the trooper truck away. Let's go to SWL 103. Where is Joey? Tango Romeo 21 X-ray out of South Carolina. And he's right there. I just have to look. I have to look at the right spot. 103 checking in from upstate SC, where all his directional is swaying in the heavy rain. Yeah, there was, we had on the West Coast 90, 100 mile an hour winds, which is very unheard of. So hopefully we're not sending malfeasance across the US of A out that way. So stay safe, and if it can crank down, crank down. If you can get down, get down. And then we'll get up later. Let's go to, there is Felix checking in again. Well, we got you. I'm going to officially watch the screen. We'll do the official. Who's up there now? 103. There's 91. And we do that, and that logs you somewhere on Google saying that you checked in on 2/10/2024. And that is a good thing. Let's go to SWL 109, Mr. Crawdad.
Good evening, Dennis. Crawdad 109 checking in.
All right, looking good. We got a proxy for you last week, but you are alive. You are alive. You are live here on the Old Tube Radio Network and sounding good.
Thank you, Dennis, and you're sounding good tonight.
All right, thanks for checking in on the big signal. You give yourself a radio check on the replay and see how good you sound. All right, let's go over to SWL 110. SWL 111, Robert checked in on at oldtuberadio.net. It says, enjoy the game and stay safe. Someone asked a question, where's the audio come from? The audio is from the receiver, directly out of the receiver into some digital pipe network, and then directly out to the Universal Media Network. So you hear if you're listening online at oldtuberadio.net or the video, exactly what I hear or what I would be hearing out of my speakers and headphones, and we do that to try and make it sound exactly like it should. We are proud of our tube radios and the sounds that they have, and were you to check in with the video on the replay, you can kind of hear what you sound like. So if you did microphone tests or something like that, it should be kind of accurate, except for my audio, which is going weird tonight. I do have a bad cable somewhere. The roll call is going on now. Radios are coming up. Let's go to SWL 113. I've got a note to get Tom proxied from Sanger, the station that never needs a proxy check-in. SWL 114.
114 checking in.
Sounding good, sir. Wayne, thank you for joining us yet again on the Old Tube Radio Network. And Peter, you guys, the 428, the Squamish Boys, whether you're in the mobile or on the base, always looking good. Like I said, looks like our uplink link is up so far. We'll give it a shot here in about an hour. So if you guys are out and around, we'll see if we can copy you from up there in BC. SWL 128. And John is here. Now here we go. John 128, who has been one of the digital SWLs from almost the time we started doing that stuff. He says Tuesday at about 1625 UTC was monitoring 27370 plus or minus, and he thought he recognized a voice from the Old Tube Radio Network, and he heard 1017 near Fresno. Yeah, I mean 1017 was out in his mobile, like the mini grass. He does that. He drives out in the mobile, goes to one of the ponding basins, sticks his foot in the water for a good ground, and that's why you hear him so well. So a shout out to 1017 being heard by SWL 128 out there, way out there in Fairfax, booming. Let me quote, booming, quote unquote, into Virginia. Nice signal and great audio. Yeah, indeed. So thanks, John, for letting us know about that. Let's go to shortwave listener 131 in the northwest Fresno, SWL 133. SWL 135.
Hello. If this thing is working, SWL 135 checking in.
135, it is working nicely. And no doubt we will be hearing it shortly on our tube radio check-ins. Over. All right, weather report from Foxman, Rockwood, Tennessee. Light rain, 52 degrees Fahrenheit. Precipitation. Wind at 7 miles per hour. Yeah, I guess that would be 100% humidity. Let me give you a quick rundown from around here. We are at 48 degrees, humidity at 76, and the pressure is high. We are in a very high pressure after a very low pressure and a couple of, what do they call it, atmospheric river storms. Thanks, Cliff, for checking in. Let's go to SWL 137. Shortwave listener 145, Tony. Punket Tony checked in from the Friday Morning Net, the Early Risers Net. And
145 on Echo Link.
Yeah. Looking good. All right. We hear you on Echo Link, so if you hear me, you got a confirmation on the Echo Link link. Over. And Tony often leaves us with a couple of questions, and I will go through those right now. The Biley, or is it Billy? B-I-L-E-Y, the Biley Electronic Company is most noted for producing what useful item? Thanks, Tony. We got you checked in. Sounding good. KB6GFD. B-I-L-E-Y. Biley Electronic Company is most noted for producing what useful item? I was going to say that weird antenna, the Isotron or whatever it was, that sort of looked like it was pieces of metal, but that's a Bilal or something. So the Biley Electronic Company most noted for producing a useful item, quartz crystals, which may or may not be in your radio at the moment. We will probably have some quartz crystals checking in shortly. Number 2, all Drake transmitters, D-R-A-K-E, all Drake transmitters use which tube in the final? So the Drake, they use, because they put out some power. Some of those were like 500 watts, I think. So what tubes? I wouldn't say sweep tubes, but that would be correct. But it says 6 JB6 TV sweep tubes. So they probably, depending on the power of the radio, you've got probably a 12 BY7 driving 2 or 3 or 4, or how many of the 6 JB6 sweep tubes to get your power output. So thanks for those questions. And how many of you have a Drake? Raise your hand. How many of you have sitting on your old tube radio desk? The old Drake radios. TR4 or something like that. Okay. TR7. Did they use tubes? I know the TR4 did. Let's go to SWL 147 checked in. SWL 188.
Good evening, Tom Gus. Good evening, Tom SWL 188 checking in.
All right, 188. Bobby sounding good here on the Old Tube Radio Network tonight, and dusting off the antenna. Hopefully, I think we're done with our wins or whatever we had, so you can crank it up and do your thing.
Yes, sir. I got mine back up in the air. Just wait for the conditions to come back around.
All right, sounds good. You are sounding good. Thanks for checking in. And Charlie, that's right. The 6146 is sort of the common tube. The Yaesu FT102 has not 1, not 2, but 3. The Yaesu 101, right, used the sweep tubes. I think the Kenwood 570 might have ran a similar to 6146. So that was more popular. I think it was a nice beefy tube. It wasn't too expensive. And on my 102, right behind me there. Yeah, it's right behind me. One's 3 of those 6146s. Bobby has checked in. 195 up in the big city of Coarse Gold. Jim checked in moments ago. And 226, Jeff. All right, anybody else needing to get checked in? All right, let me step out of the air chair. And I will be back. We got to get set up for the tube radio check-in, so give me a minute or two to connect some wires or disconnect some wires or slap some equipment so it'll work. And we'll be back with your tube radios. Yeah, the Old Tube Radio Network, what we do best. Back in a moment. All right, and before I go too far, I want to see if Mr. Roman is still on the frequency. And he is. Let me do the lock to talk here. And I will go to our finite list of registered shortwave listeners. Yet again, you don't need to be on any list, and it's a finite list because if it wasn't, we would never get through the roll call. What we do, we have the roll call each week. There's a list of 8 weeks. We are on week 2 of the 8 weeks, and so the numbers fill up, but the numbers unfill because at some point, people just don't come back and whatever. So we issue the numbers. So what we ask, if we get you on the list, that you can check in at least once in that 8-week period, and we'll carry you through to the next 8-week period, and so on and so forth. And so a number I'm looking, we actually have on page 4, SWL 92, right after Felix, who always checks in. So that's a good thing. So take your Post-it and write shortwave listener number 92 on the Post-it and put it somewhere near the radio. And also, it's 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at the moment. I'm not sure where you are. It's probably later than you think. And so we'll get you checked in. You can come in anytime. The roll call just makes it convenient if you have to get in and out. But anytime that you see us on, you can jump in and say, hey, and we will put the X in the square, which I will do right now. We will go over to the list, SWL 92. It will show up right there. And it will say checking in, meaning that I'm calling for the number. And then when you say, that's me, we will change that to the ever-popular checked in. And you will be on this analog paper list forever. Who knew? All right, thanks. Thanks, Mr. Roman, for joining us. Hopefully you guys have something out that way, get on the air night or whatever. But thanks for joining us here at the Old Tube Radio Network, something we have been doing, and I kid you not. And we've got pictures to prove it since about 1986 or so. Many of us have been around, but we are glad to have anybody stop by. All right, I'm going to jump back out, and I will be back with we will be back with some tube radios. Less of me and more radios. That's why we are here. We'll catch you in just a little bit. The Old Tube Radio Network.
ready, K6VLX.
It could be working. We'll find out in moments.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for that. Mr. Announcer, X4000, Stan Freeberg, Billy May, and the entire orchestra from a program long ago, but recaptured here for the Old Tube Radio Network, where we will endeavor to do our best to check in some radios. I have the... Where did I put it? I know you gave... Oh, here it is. He gave it to me. The Pocket Protector Pen of the week. Let me go to over to the less than stellar close-up camera from CBS Tubes. Well, that's an apropos sponsor here from Microy Incorporated in beautiful and the less than stellar out of focus Wheeling, Illinois, with phone number Chicago everywhere for your tube radio pleasure. And so into the Pocket Protector it goes. And don't want to mess up the seersucker suit. Oh, turn on the radio. We have the official lighting, illuminating of the E.F. Johnson radio, and I was supposed to do. I'm supposed to do something else, but I think what I really need to do. They say I want to see something on the meter. How about that? All right, that's good enough. What I need to do is get everybody. I wanted to say. I know what it was. Thank you, Chet. I need to check in. Officially check in Red Fox 1, SWL 76. So let me go to the official SWL chart, and maybe it works, and maybe it doesn't. There it is. SWL 76 is checked in. Thanks for joining us, and I'll log you in on the paper, and I will be listening for any and all radio check-ins. Over.
135, 135.
20, 20, 20. That's 60.
14.
Okay, I was trying to get everybody checked in that needed to be checked in. All right, here's what we will do. I will go in the order that I heard aforementioned stations. So radio, I will take first. Come on up into the air share, but don't transmit yet. SWL 37, Chris, and then we will go to shortwave listener 135, Mr. Green Arrow. And did I mention you don't have to have any numbers to do this? As long as you have a radio. If you say, look, Uncle Fred found a radio in the garage and I'm plugging it in and putting the coax on, stop by on Saturdays and do just what they did. Said, checking in, and we'll see what you got. Third radio, number 2, Green Arrow. Third radio will be Harvey out there on the west side, and I'll do good. I'll do good. Number 14 to try and get to you before you fall asleep. So Sean is trying to stay awake, but you will be radio number 4. But in the meantime, head over to the green room, won't you, and join the party. And that will keep you awake. We've got some good stuff on the house. Okay, over to Christopher. Can you hear me? Over.
I most definitely can, Dennis.
All right, take a transmission. I think you are fired up on your tube-style radio, and I'll see if I can find it in our Rolodex of tube radios.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to check in my general radio telephone, my Super MC11A. It's a 24-channel version right there. And we are running this here with a handheld stock microphone. Over.
All right, tube radios from General Radio Telephone Company. Beautiful downtown Burbank. The model of radio is the Super MC11A, and we just happen to have a likeness of that radio, which has popped up. Let's go to the full screen. That's not it. Let's go to the take two. Let's go to the full screen so we can see that's from the collection of Cliff. We'll be hearing from him shortly. I wonder if he's checking in on a General Radio Telephone. All 23 channels. What else? And you said it's the stock microphone. I think that's what we're showing. It's the sort of teardrop shape, and it's, well, I don't know if it's got CM3. You may not have the badge in the center.
That part is missing.
Okay, but it sounds pretty good, and you are doing anything special to get that great audio?
Well, turning the volume on. I turn the switch on and getting the microphone.
All right, and you should have your dial set to the green channel 11. At least that's where I'm hearing you.
Yeah, green background, black lettering, our numbers.
Okay, this was sort of the last type accepted radio from General Radio Telephone out of Burbank, California. Probably the late 60s, early 70s. You got some, and this was their top of the line radio for a base station. 24 channels, we'll talk about that. The front panel has the distance local range switch. That's not for transmit, that's for receive. So think of it as a switchable RF gain. It has a radio and a bullhorn. So do you call many bulls out there?
They usually turn around and start running.
All right, and then the ANL. Have you tried that? How well is it filter out those Volkswagens driving down the street?
ANL, let's see where. Let me see. Talk.
All right, well, it shouldn't filter me out, although it might. Sometimes it might. The ANL could make a voice a little raspy if it's got some IMD products. But typically, if you've got some click, 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 or some click, click, click coming through your receiver, that might squelch it out and let me come through unhampered.
Well, it does quiet down the noise. That's about it. I can hear you just perfectly fine through it.
All right, there's your S9 Plus on the S meter, and were I to be astute, we're going to jump over. It's not there anymore. Let me jump over to the Larry cam, and we will check your transmitter, perhaps, or perhaps not. Oh, that's from way long ago. All right, I think maybe he stopped transmitting. I was going to try and give you a picture of your radio here.
It still looks the same.
Well, this
stream.
What?
New stream. It's a new stream.
Oh, it's a new stream. All right, hold on a second. Okay, here we go. So if you watch the replay, and I'll get it dialed up here. We're going to look at your radio. We looked at the front of your radio. We're going to look at your radio. Let me get the right photo. Okay, there we go. We're going to look at your radio from the RF portion. So we're going to bring up the replay audio. So it should be looking at me.
RF portion. So
all right, so go ahead and take the transmission. We'll see where it's at. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'll go ahead. Go ahead. Call me a goat head. Listen to. All right, I'm going to go ahead. It seems to be working there. And go ahead.
All right, it's working great. We can see it.
Seems to be working there. And go ahead.
All right, there's your replay. We can see it. It fires up. It moves frequency just a little bit. It comes on maybe, 50, 100 hertz low. Looks good. It's got great audio. You've got 7K audio on that thing, and it comes back. So you are looking good on the RF side. Over.
Good. At least one part of it is, huh?
Yeah, doing good. Let me get rid of the audio. Thank you, Larry, for the update on the radio stream, but that's from an SDR, and that is what your signal looks like. Were you to be able to see it, we can hear it, but were you to be able to see it, you've got the audio portion, and of course, AM. AM is an upper sideband and the lower sideband with the carrier right in the middle, and the upper and lower sidebands are exactly the same, just swapped around, but it's got the same information on both sides. So good deal. Thanks for bringing by the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A on the old Tube Radio Network. And let me see, what can I tell you about it? Anything else? Oh, in 9 tubes, the final amp 6GE5. Oh, and we're going to quickly talk about the where it says 24 channels. And have you found the secret to your 24 channel?
No, it's just that national, that Guard Air National, whatever, that way up there. Yes, no, I haven't.
Yeah, Civil Air Patrol. They have a special, and I think it's on your dial under CAP. You dial that, and you got the 26.4 something for Civil Air Patrol, which you could use these for. And I think that's sort of the way they got by the FCC, where they have the special plug in the back, where if you short out the pins with the plug, your radio will do, instead of 5-watt DC input, about 25-watt DC input, probably for the Civil Air Patrol. But in the meantime, right here on the old Tube Radio Network, we enjoy the General Radio Telephone sounding good with that 12AX7A audio and doing a good job. Thanks for getting us started out here. Over.
Okay, you know, I don't even know if that thing will key up on that other. Just say, let me check something real quick.
All right, well, it should. I mean, see if it'll transmit. He's flipping his dial to the CAP and probably going to see if he can get the meter to move a bit.
Nope, it don't move at all. It's just dead.
All right, and maybe that has something to do. Maybe you have to have that plug in to make it work on that channel as well. I don't know. We will find out. We'll find out about that. Radio number 1, the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A. It always sounds good. It's got a stock microphone. There is no amplification going in. That's why we like the tube radios. Before the days of built-in modulation limiters and you can't do this and you can't do that, I guess they expect you to just run the radio as it was and do a good job of it. And here in the 21st century, it still works. Thanks for stopping by.
All right, thank you, Dennis.
How about another one without an amplified mic?
All right, we'll put you in as Radio 5. We're coming up to Radio 2. Head over to the green room and we'll pick you up shortly.
Mine wasn't amplified.
Well, you have like the Harvey range boost amplification.
Oh, yeah, I don't use that though. Okay, I'm out.
Okay, and while Mr. Green Arrow, Cliff is stepping up to the air chair, we are going to head over to Studio B. The Jingle Singers giving us a little reason to check in our tube radios tonight. Cliff, you're on after the Jingle Singers.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, for music and the latest news from home and from afar, the station for you is
OTR, Old Tube Radio.
The station for you is
OTR.
All right, the station for you, and maybe even you, the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks for joining us, whether you're at oldtuberadio.com on the video side, watching the replay here live and direct, Channel 11, the Central Valley of California. And we're doing what we do best, doing what we started out doing 38 years ago, and providing a place for the tube radios to stop by, a channel where we could just get on and check microphones, talk about the radios, relive the old days. Some of us old people, or as we do now, if you find yourself getting your first tube radio, this is the place to stop by. Hello, Cliff.
Hello, Dennis. Hello. Is this thing working?
It is working just fine, and thank you for providing our picture of our prior radio, the General Radio Telephone, but I will clear that, and let's see what it is that you have. Over.
Okay, there should be a picture of this one actually out here here in the CB Cabana where I am, except the picture I took was during the daytime. This radio here is from Miami, Florida. This is the Pierce Simpson Guardian 23. Let's see, there are 11 tubes, but all 23 channels crystal synthesizer controlled. So it's got, fewer crystals, but it still does all the channels. It is a base mobile type. You can do AC or DC. Back to you.
Yes, indeed, and we have one. I think it's exactly, it says from your collection, Really nice audio, by the way. Nice, crisp audio. We'll take a look at the picture. Not the picture of the radio, but the picture of the audio coming up. I'll go into the full screen, and there it is. The Guardian 23. I think they had a 23B. Pierce Simpson was really good about what I call designing mid-century modern-looking radios. Think of Frank Lloyd Wright and the Symmetry and all that, and they did a good job. We'll talk about that. And I see it's actually tuned to channel 11. So back to you. It's doing a good job. Over.
And it's tuned into channel 11 right now. Let me see. Oh wow, it's almost smack on frequency. My frequency counter is flipping between 49 and 50. So that's about as close as you're going to get. Let's see. There's a little neon modulation light that says I am modulating. I hope it's making it out there. Are we looking at my audio on that waterfall display, or what's going on?
Looking at the radio, which we did, took a look at the S meter. You're a little under S9 and modulating well over S9. And when you come back next time, and in fact, I will queue up, as they say, we will cue the video right now, because it takes me a little while to press the right button. Okay, I think we've got it here. And there's my signal. Okay, there it is. We will got it centered up and take a transmission. We'll find out where you're at. Over.
Okay. Yeah, I can't wait to see this. I've never seen the
take a transmission. We'll
the
find out where
graphics
you're
on
at.
this particular radio before. It's been a while since I dragged it out. Maybe a little too long. The microphone. I forgot the microphone. I'm using a D104 Golden Eagle. Hello. Which doesn't seem to be doing what it was doing earlier. It's really cold and damp out here. I don't imagine it's very good for a lot of this equipment. Let's hope it all survives. Back to you.
All right, we're looking at the display right now, because we got about a 6-second latency. You are good. It's got the little hook. It goes low on frequency by a couple of hertz. Hooks into a little low, 27084 something. I don't have the exact calibration. The audio looks good side to side. Nice 6K audio. And when you do the hello, you can see the carrier waver just a bit. But it is working well, and it's looking good. Over.
Well, that's good to know. At least it's still working. There's been a great deal of trouble last couple of days trying to make it happen. So it's good to know that there is success. Anything else you want to know about the radio? You know what? There's something I'd like to know about the radio. Do you have any idea when these things were manufactured? I think it's in SAMS 9, I think. But I really don't know when these things were made. Back to you.
All right, let me go to an advertisement. Pierce Simpson, new and ready for action, the leader. It's it says CB Magazine, November 1964, page 15. So there were 3 radios from which to choose. The Companion 2, the Escort, and the one you have, the Guardian 23. So the Guardian 23, they're top of the line for 1964. Companion 2, $189.50, Escort $229.95, and the one you're on, whopping $300, $299.50. In 1964 dollars, who's got the calculator? What's $300 in 1964 dollars? Outstanding feature: 23-channel frequency selection with exclusive heterosync circuit, dual conversion superhet receiver with low noise, new Vista. It's got a new Vista in there. Superior squelch circuit, illuminated S meter, well, kind of. Channel selector and modulation indicator easily provides full 5 watts legal input while operating at 50% of its full load capacity, ensuring long component life. New accessories: there was a Companion 2 S meter. You have the S meter built in. All models have a remote speaker, $11.95. They don't show that. And yes, indeed, Pierce Simpson Incorporated, 2295 Northwest 14th Street in Miami. Beautiful Miami, Florida. So that might tell you something. Over.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of Florida radios out here. Wow, that's a lot earlier than I would have thought. Everything I've seen inside and outside of this radio tells me it was from somewhere in the 70s. Wow, 64, huh?
That's what it said. I don't have a date for 64, so I'm thinking it's late 64. And this is the Guardian 23. They came out with the 23B, but they offered 3 models. And obviously this was the top of the line. The other one had crystals, not an S meter. And even their entry level was 189, which I think was actually at that time a little less or a little more than the top of the line general radio telephone. So good deal. We've got the it's pretty close on frequency. We've got the S meter. You've got good audio. And what was the microphonium of choice again?
I am currently not on the pictured Pierce Simpson hand microphone, which I think I'd have to read this here. Oh yeah, that's a Euphonics. I have it here, just in case. But I'm currently on the Golden D104, the D104 Golden Eagle.
Okay, it's got really nice sounding, good fidelity audio. It doesn't sound like it's over clipped. When we looked at the Larry Cam, it's got full fidelity. I've got the picture. Yeah, full fidelity side to side on the 6K, and it looks like it's got all frequencies are represented on the Pierce Simpson Guardian 23. Foxman saying $1 in 1964 is equivalent in purchasing power to about $9.90 today. Holy cow! So. Is that correct? That radio is equivalent to about $2,000 a day. Over.
Yeah, I was going to say, $300 is a lot of money back then. In '64, my God. And there's a bunch of these things around, so people must have, really ponied up the dough for these things. Back to you.
This is the pony up the dough frequency. Sounding good. I have the Guardian 23B. I actually ran that control a couple times on that 23B, and like you've noted and I noticed, it's a great radio. The receive is good. It runs super hot because where's that extreme 3U? Look at the convection cooling. There's only vents on the side, and it's not, the perforated top. So it does run pretty hot. And, that S meter is sort of designed to match that little window there, but boy, even though it's illuminated, boy, is it tiny.
No, you're telling me. I have to wear 2 pairs of glasses to read that thing. It's very tiny. The increments and the numbers are too small to read. And even though I've got it propped up on the what do you call it? This thing, see right here? Are you seeing that? That thing. The mobile bracket. It's still at a difficult angle to see. And it doesn't actually have its own light bulb for illumination. The light bulb that's used for lighting up the channel number just kind of drifts over there a bit. That's the way it's supposed to be. They never install the light there. But it's one of the 2 most difficult meters that I have to read. That's the way it's supposed to be. They never install the light there. It's
so there's
one
your
of the 2 most difficult meters.
Your audio replay from the Larry Cam. Well, it's good. You're doing a good job driving the radio, as you always do. Thanks for the picture. It's perfect. Always set up perfect. If we ever do a calendar, we're going to be using a lot of those shots, that's for sure. The radio number 2, the Pierce Simpson Guardian 23, they made quite a few CB radios, various flavors. This was their top of the line tube radio until they started doing some really, really nice, and some of you out there have them. They're transistorized radio like the Simba. And I remember in high school just drooling over those Pierce Simpson transistorized radios at $300 and $400 with the clocks and the tone controls. So this was the precursor to that. Thank you for a beautiful check-in. Over.
Oh, thanks for letting me check it in, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.
Man.
Comment, go ahead.
not sure if I got the year and the dollar amount correct, but $300 in 1964 has the same buying power as $2,978.12 in today's money.
Yikes!
Yeah, well, it's Felix at about $2,800, so that's in our ballpark here. So, of course, electronics has actually come down because of technology, but the fact that, in 1964, you were either going to go down to the used car lot and maybe see if you could get a deal on that 58 Ford Fairlane that was in less than stellar condition for about $350, or maybe save $50 and buy the radio. Now, where you have to have done that, you probably would still have the radio, but you would not have the car. We would not be checking in the car, even though they're both some mid-century modern fins in chrome. All right, we are going to Harvey next. Step up in the air chair. I want to go to the Jingle Singers first, which we will do. Also on our list for radio check-ins coming up after Harvey is Sean, and then Mike will be stepping in as well. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, your favorite spot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
The station for you, the Old Tube Radio Network. Let me clear out this. And that is, I had to laugh. That is certainly an anthem. Mark on the video saying he's done buying radios. Maybe just one more, but that's it. And then how many of us have said that? And there have been stations that have checked in on the Old Tube Radio Network in days of yore that had, and I kid you not, 30, 40. The list goes on because of they were done buying radios. But, you know, there was always one more. And remember, that was in the 80s and 90s. That was before eBay. You had to drive around town. You had to go to swap meets and garage sales. And you know, Uncle Harry's not using that to get those many radios. There was no eBay to make it easy. Or actually to make it hard. All right, Harvey, are you there? Over.
Roger. I'm here. This is for Cliff.
Yeesh. Over.
There we go. The mic plug fell out. Okay. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you all right. Over.
Okay. Because I'm going to hook up another radio in a minute. So, anyway. Oh, sorry. For Cliff, this is my Pierce Simpson Guardian 23. There are many others like it, but this one is mine. Amplified gray bass D104, and I do not have the mobile bracket on this one. And then I'll have a surprise for Cliff after the other guys check in theirs. But this is my Pierce Simpson Guardian 23. Over.
Okay, well, you have sort of proved that his was not an anomaly. You still have great audio, good fidelity all the way around on the Pierce Simpson Guardian 23. We'll go to the Larry Cam and check that out as well. I would give you the address because there's actually a little coupon here on our ad. Please send me full details on the new Guardian 23, the S-meter. Well, you've got an S-meter. The remote speaker. Maybe you would like the remote speaker. But anyway, take a transmission. I'll pull up the Larry Cam and we'll see how that thing is working on frequency and if it's got the same little hook on the key up. Go ahead.
Well, I cheated. I hooked up the second radio in between. So, there you go. Oh, wait, I have the RF gain down. There we go. Got to turn that up. Anyway, here's my second radio.
All right, second radio has a noticeable AC note to it, and you can see it. You can see the ripple going through the carrier there. It is about the same frequency low as Cliff's radios, but what is the second radio that we just heard here, that we're just listening to? Over.
Okay, I know it's got a hum. I haven't had time to fix it. Oh, wait, I gotta turn something down here. Hang on. Gotta reach around the corner. There we go. It's the Pierce Simpson Guardian 23B. I found it in the garage, and for Cliff, I wanted to hook it up. It's got the mobile bracket, just like Cliff's, but mine's hooked up on top, so you can carry it by that bracket right side up. Anyway, I have not checked any of the tubes in this thing. I did replace the cap, but I think I have to do a little bit more. I think I've got a tube with a short knit, so I have to fix it. But anyway, this is the Guardian, Pierce Simpson Guardian 23B. And the question is, for the hour, what's the difference?
Yeah, I've got a picture of the 23B. I'm not sure what microphone you got. I think you actually have too much audio going into that radio. I don't know if that would be promoting the buzz or not. You could, if you're amplified, you could certainly turn it down, as we say, a skosh. So what is the difference? Well, the difference is it says Guardian 23B on the speaker. Still says Pierce Simpson, but it certainly looks very close to the 23. Over.
Roger. I turned the mic down. How's that?
That's a good thing. Over.
Say that again?
That is a good thing. Over.
Do I still have the hum?
You still have it, but it's a lot less.
Okay. The difference, it says 23B on the back also. The difference is right off the mic plug in the front of the radio is a little rectangular circuit board with a transistor or two or three and a couple other little parts. And I assume that was to amplify the audio in transmission. That's the basic only difference that I found in the two radios.
Okay, so some update. I'm taking note that it should still have the new Vista in there somewhere, right?
Yes. It's got the new Vista, which is the RF amp.
Okay, that's part of it. So, for those of us who may not know or have never, dialed in or taken the case off, were we to do that, what would the new Vista look like? How could we tell if it's a new Vista?
It's a little metal tube about half-inch high, and not much around. Looks like a very small socket that you'd put on a socket driver type thing, a real little socket thing. It's very tiny.
All right, I'm just pulling the picture up. And yeah, you've got the 6K wide audio. It still looks like it might have a little IMD coming out of the microphone, but I think it sounds better at that level. Audio looks good. Nice full fidelity. And you can see the AC note in the carrier. It's a little wavy with the AC going through it there, but it is not bad at all. Over.
Yeah, I can hear it. Not much on receive, unless I turn the volume all the way down, but I can hear it, a vibration or hum, while I'm keyed up. I can't really hear it in another radio, but I kind of figured it's there. The 23 doesn't have it. The 23B, of course, does. I checked all the caps, so it's not that. So I imagine it's a leaky tube somewhere in the audio chain, in both receive and transmit. So I'm going to have to figure that one out. But I just grabbed it about 45 minutes ago and slapped it on top of the Guardian 23, and it works. Didn't have to do anything to it. Just turn it on and talk.
That's the way we like it. Turn it on and talk. Here it is.
And talk.
There's your quickie replay. I'll go back to the studio here. Pierce Simpson, Guardian. So let me, before we go on to Sean, we want to make sure that he is ready to go. Staying awake here. It's Radio 3 tonight and Radio 4, actually. It was a two-play. A Pierce Simpson Guardian 23 at the beginning that we might hear, I don't know, somewhere else. And a Pierce Simpson Guardian 23B with the extra little circuit board. Is that correct?
That is correct. Has the extra circuit board in it. And what you can do, if you have both radios, kind of take a look at it, you can maybe duplicate it and put it into 23. But with amplified mics, no reason to.
Okay, yeah, you had to turn that one down. I'm sure there's probably some internal adjustment you need to do. All right, thanks for Radio 3 and 4, Pierce Simpson. They are loud. You can hear the audio, nice and loud radio. So I guess for $300 back then, your competition might have been a $400 Browning and a $400 Tram and $200 General Radio Telephone, and there was a lot of manufacturers still hanging out in 1964. But were you to choose this, it would be a good thing, and we're glad you brought them by tonight. Thanks.
You got it. Thank you.
All right, the Old Tube Radio Network. We will jump into the Jingle Singers. Sean, it is your turn. Hopefully you have been enjoying the green room. I'm anxious to see what you've got for us tonight. And we want to say hello radio, or is it goodbye radio to, I think it's Mudbucket, UDX 483, am I correct? Who is leaving us here? Who is going on the horizontal side? Anyway, thanks for jumping in to the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. So the Jingle Singers do their thing, and then we will see what Sean out in Sanger has for our radio pleasure.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, the friendliest station for you by far is known to all as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
Station for you, the radio for you, and maybe even you. Calling Sanger Town. Hello, Sean.
Yeah, hello, Dennis. Sorry, I had it on the PA there. It seems to receive a little better. Yeah, I'd like to check in my Cobra Cam 88 tonight.
All right, you had it on the PA, so when you keyed down, you were talking to the cat. It's like, hello, through the big speakers, or as the General Radio Telephone calls it, the bullhorn. Cobra Cam 88. We do have a shot of that in the Rolodex, or my internet to be working here. Okay, there it is. I'll see if I can find some more. We'll start with the shot of the meter. It's a nice little meter, hard to come by. And I have a friend that said he was trying to fix that, and I guess they're a little persnickety trying to take those apart. So hopefully your S meter works. Over.
Yeah, it's a real tight meter. You come in at about a S2, and when Dave blasts through, I think I get a S7 signal on him. So pretty tight meter. If you can peg that one out, then you're doing big things.
Yeah, if you get the 40 overs, I guess it goes to 40. You get the 40 over signal on that. You know, they're parked outside. Cobra Cam 88. They're top of the line. There was a 98 model. I think their last tube set. Some nice features with the fine tune. And it's got the squelch and the volume. It does the PACB. A lot of the radios did that because they already had the audio amp. You basically had the couple watt audio amplifier in there, so it's sort of like, well, why not make it go out the speaker jack? And then I guess they thought a lot of people use them for public address systems in businesses, or I guess you take it out at the picnic and you could announce things. I don't know. I don't ever remember ever using any of my Citizen Band radios as a PA, but at least that was there. There are two versions. Where am I going? Okay, yeah, one that has a switch for a range expand, and I know exactly what it's called, and one that does not. So I'm wondering which one you have.
Yeah, I do. I have the switch for the range expand right underneath the modulation light, which is glowing quite well this evening.
Yeah, as well it should. Another nice, all the radios tonight have really good loud audio and good full fidelity audio. When we look at the scope, you're filling up everything from the center carrier line, the low frequencies, all the way out to whatever it is, 6K or whatever on the audio as well. So when you come in this time, we'll put on the Larry Cam and see where you show up on the Cobra Cam 88 over.
Yeah, I was just sitting in here listening to the OTR. It's hard to stay awake with this in the living room and a fireplace going, keeping you nice and cozy. And when I keyed up with the PA on, that brought me right back to life. So hopefully it's close to on frequency and sounding good tonight. So hopefully it's close to on frequency and sounding good tonight.
All right, there's the audio replay from the Larry Cam. You're not going to believe that thing is right on frequency. It doesn't move from when I key up, or is that key down? So when you key down, or is that key up? What, a couple of hertz? It is that, save that crystal. It is right on frequency, over.
Yeah, well, I got to thank Harvey for that. He is the master doctor of the old tube radios.
Yeah, well, he might have found a good crystal, or maybe he didn't have to change anything. And the carrier is nice and stable. No AC note in that. Your audio is good to 6K and maybe then some. And it's got good highlights in the low 200 hertz and out in the articulation, as Bob Heil would say, where it needs to be. So the Cobra Cam 88, as we say on the Old Tube Radio Network, is a keeper, over.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good there on the replay. It also has a stock B&K microphone that I'm using, so it's all stock. Cobra Cam 88.
All right, and stock microphone. And did you say you do have the boost switch?
Yeah, it's on, and here I might be able to switch it down there. That's with it off. And there's with it back on.
Yeah, it makes a big difference in the audio gain on the receiver. Radio number 4, B&K Cobra, Cam 88. They're top of the line until the 98 came out. Let me see if I got any information on that. I do not. B&K Dynascan, I don't have a year of manufacture or anything like that. But needless to say, it sounds pretty good here well into the 21st century, and you are definitely not down the street from me. It's quite a distance away, so doing good, over.
Yeah, thanks for the time tonight on the OTR, Dennis. I appreciate you letting me get this toy out and play with it.
All right, and thanks for, I know we've been taking a while to get to you there, but thanks for hanging on and putting another radio on the list. As you know, we beacon at oldtuberadio.net. A lot of people do check in and look at the videos. Maybe they're thinking about purchasing a Cobra Cam 88, or they've got one, and this should definitely help them out. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem, Bill. Have a good evening.
All right, we've got another radio coming up. The Jingle Singers will come up before that. Mike will be heading to the air chair. Before I do that, I think there was a breaking station. This is the Old Tube Radio Network, the breaking station. Go ahead, over.
Break, radio check. Please check my radio from Fresno.
Yeah, hello from Fresno. I recognize that voice. Welcome to the Old Tube Radio Network on a Saturday night. You're looking good on the S meter. The audio is a little bit low, but you might be speaking incognito, not to wake up the rest of the household. But you're sounding good here in Midtown Fresno tonight, over.
Thank you. Yes, I'm on a Bearcat right now, so thank you.
All right, the Bearcat is looking good. We are streaming live, by the way, at oldtuberadio.net. where we got a video going. So if you'd like to give yourself a radio check and see how it sounded, you can go to that video, and somewhere in the video, let's see, we're into almost 2 hours. Somewhere in that area, you will get your you'll be able to see and hear your station. Over.
Yes, I'm actually watching it right now.
All right, there you go. There's the S7 on the meter, sounding good. All right, we're going to the jingle. Thank you for stopping by. That's the way to do it on the Old Tube Radio Network. We are always glad to give a radio check. That's why we're here. We're checking out the tube radios and also the magic of the tube radios, as our jingle singers will tell us.
What are the magic numbers?
27.085 megahertz, channel 11.
Are the magic letters?
OTR.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Radio Magic.
Old Tube Radio.
For you.
And Cornbread just jumped out of his chair and said, did somebody say Fresno? Back to the control room here, if I can find the right camera. And I wanted to, let me go walk to talk because it's easier, or clear the rigs. And here's what we do on a Super Bowl Sunday at the Old Tube Radio Network. Everybody's got their favorite teams, but to keep the peace, we will all be, rather than wearing our favorite team colors, we will all be donning the Don't Forget to Feed the Fish T-shirts, courtesy of Bob and Steve, and may the best fish win. Okay, heading over to SWL 47. Hello, Mike, over.
Well, greetings from the Radio Lounge. Hey, I want to start by asking you a question. How the heck did you hear that previous listener? I'm really, really, really curious about your antenna situation. I'll tell you about mine later, but as often happens, I just can't hear over here, and you seem to pick that up quite so well. What's up with your antenna situation?
Okay, in 25 words or less, I believe you're talking about Sean, who's in Sanger. Now, let's give some kudos to Sean, who increased his signal greatly by, I think, doing some antenna trickery and maybe some, we won't talk about that, but some RF trickery as well. Plus, he's got a very good voice, very well modulated, so he's helped out in that way. My antenna is still a very low, it's a Starduster. It's a good antenna. It's a quarter wave, you think a Starduster. But no, for transmitting, it's not bad. For receiving, it's not bad. I'm only up from the ground 20 feet, 15 feet off the roof, 30 feet. So I got trees. I've got a tree in the way to where Sean is. I got a more open spot to where you are. So were I to get my antenna in the air a little bit better, I would hear better. My noise floor, there's the S meter. Let me put the S meter cam up just quickly. Is S2. So that's nice. I mean, I'm real lucky tonight because the noise floor is low. I even have the RF gain turned up to get rid of some of the static for the listeners. So there you go, low noise floor. So that's number one, I think, is a low noise floor, a nice receiver, and I am lucky enough to be talking to people who have great radios, such as yourself. Take a transmission.
Oh, that was very smooth. Okay, well, I don't think our antenna heights are that much different, but I'm still left often not being able to hear folks that you can. But I guess that's beside the point, because you can hear this thing, which is my Robin T123B, as in Brontosaurus, with an unamplified microphone that at 10:02 at night, it's rough for me to kind of put audio into this. I don't like talking this loud, especially this late at night. But it is making the modulation lamp work. No, it does not have a Magic Eye tube like the Robin T123. But I guess this thing is still kind of enchanting to look at, as long as you're screaming into it, which I think I'm doing right now.
All right. Well, it certainly doesn't sound as though you are screaming. The audio isn't clipping or anything, so it's good. Whatever you're doing is about right to bring your audio up with the amount of carrier that you have. I wouldn't say that you are undermodulated or severely undermodulated. You're certainly not overmodulated. Picture of the Robin T123B on the screen or on your selector if you're at oldtuberadio.net. On the video, this was the Robin radio on the Panasonic number 2 chassis that a lot of radios were based on from 1972 to 1976, to 23-channel chassis that they had to stop when they went to 40 channels thanks to the FCC. Very popular radio. Top of the line for that chassis because the Robin somehow got all the little extras, the external speakers and the PAs and the mod lights and the fine tunes and the RF gain controls. What they didn't get was a big microphone. How come?
Well, you got me on that one. I used to have a Turner Plus 2 amplified on, was it this radio? Oh, you know what? It wasn't this radio. It was my other one. No, I've only had this microphone on this radio, so I don't know. It's small, but it looks reasonably shiny and reasonably brand new. So I guess it's funny. And yes, I do have the little hook on the right side of the radio to put this microphone on when I'm done screaming into it.
Yes, right in the face. Well, we won't keep you on too long. And you do know that we have some Robin fans that listen, and in fact, the 00 for this 8-week period, Chrissy is a big Robin fan, and she probably has a little Robin banner. I mean, her enthusiasm when a Robin radio checks in is not unlike when your favorite, were you to have, or anybody's favorite Super Bowl team is winning. She is waving the Robin flag and happy that a green Robin radio has checked in tonight. So you can rest assured that your shouting is not going unnoticed.
Oh, that's good. I got to be honest with you. That makes me very happy to hear that comment. Yeah, I was going to comment on that as well about something that was said a few moments ago. Everyone having a favorite Super Bowl team. I'm not going to argue on that, but I will tell you, I was kind of looking forward possibly to purchasing some snowshoes and maybe going on a solo hike tomorrow afternoon. But we won't go there. I don't want to upset anyone.
Okay, and I would. We don't have time, but I would say, where does one purchase snowshoes? And I would imagine there are enough sporting goods stores around. I don't think I've seen them at Fresno Ag, but there's probably some good sporting goods stores around where you can do that. For people wanting to know, there's the Robin. If you're watching the video, or looking at the picture on oldtuberadio.net, there's the box that brought joy back in 1973 with your Model T123B, 5-watt, 23-channel Citizen Band transceiver, the looks and performance of tomorrow by the designers and engineers of today. And here we are 50 years? Come on. Here we are 50 years later, and the designers of today and tomorrow are scratching their heads and saying, well, we didn't think it would be that good. But it is good. I'm going to bring up the Larry Cam before you go, and we'll take a look at what that Robin is doing. So take a transmission over.
Okay. Well, before I sign out, I used to calculate this out when folks were bringing up the price of their old radios, and I think it was about $3,000 that most of these were going to, adjusted for today's dollar. I don't know, before I get out of here, I don't know if anyone can comment on how much this radio cost. I think you just said in about 1973. I'd be very, very, very curious to find that out. But there it is. It's great to use this. Everyone just sounds absolutely wonderful. There's so many things in life that bring you pleasure for a very short amount of time. But to be quite honest, it's these glow-in-the-dark radios that never cease to bring me pleasure. So thanks for letting me and us check it in. You sound great. Everyone sounds great, and it's appreciated.
All right, and likewise, here's your audio playback. Let's see if it's showing it. Yeah, that's how Larry is hearing you out. The audio is a little weak. We're looking at the picture. A little low on frequency. This one keys up a little high and dips down, and then is solid. It's solid. No AC note or anything. Well, you can see the hiss. You can see my white noise in the audio coming up. But there you go. So it looks pretty good on the scope. And I would say, from what we're seeing, you are indeed a little bit undermodulated. There wasn't a lot of information showing up. But then again, Larry may not be having the best copy on you. But so thank you for raising your voice, not in anger, but in pleasure of operating a very fine radio, our number 5 of the evening. Over.
Thanks, sir. 73.
You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. Any other stations that would like to check in before we go away? I do want to try and see if we can check in with the Squamish boys before we go away. But last call, and it is a little after 10 o'clock here on the West Coast. I know some of you are staying up early into Sunday. And some of you are wanting to get to bed for your Super Bowl extravaganza tomorrow, so we won't stay too late. But any other stations wanting to check in here on the Old Tube Radio Network?
60.
And we've got one. Step right up, 60. You are good to go. If you're still listening, Mike, where did that go? Somebody had on eBay right now, maybe new in the box. NOS in the original box on eBay, $400. I think he's probably talking about a T123B. We will see. All right, let's hear from Radio 6, from the guy with 60 on the SWL number. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you much, Dennis. I know some Robins have been checking in, and we have Robin listeners. Doggone it, Dennis, I'd like to check in my Robin, my 123B.
All right. We're seeing if the Robins can be the most heard radio tonight. It doesn't happen often, but it can. We have a lot of the birds flying around. T123B. I'll pull up a different picture on this one, but we'll put it up as you take a transmission. Sounds good. Over.
Yeah, Roger D there. Dennis, 11 tubes, all 23 channels there, of course, and a few extras. This one has a few extra channels in it. All in good working condition, and doggone it, definitely, I don't know, maybe some people have mentioned this before, but a skosh a bit on the warm side.
Yeah, I don't have a picture that shows the top. The Pierce Simpson Guardian was similar because it doesn't have. It has got convection cooling, but it doesn't have a lot of ventilation on the top. This may have something, but I know that is a common theme with the Robin radio, that they're a little hot on the top. Let's see. It is 11 tubes, as you said. There is a 12AX7 in the modulator. And what is the output to? I'm looking for that. 6BQ5. Also, there is an operator's manual. If you go to a PDF operator's manual at oldtuberadio.com, and a schematic as well, if you were to need one. But we're adding a Robin to the list. Take a transmission. We'll take a look at your signal on the Larry cam before you go. Over.
Yeah, Roger. No problem. Like they say, no pain, no strain there for sure. We'll give you that, and the features on it are nice on this radio, and I know you all were talking about that earlier. Doggone it, not too much more I want to say about this, because I know it's a little bit late. It is the Super Bowl weekend. I've got two more that I'd like to check in. And I appreciate you letting me check this one in before we leave.
Okay, well, if they're warmed up, let's hear your audio here. Let's see if we can, how you're being heard.
And I appreciate you letting me check this one in before we leave.
All right, that's the audio from the Larry Cam. Radio keys up. It swoops down in frequency. It locks right in at 27084, about a KC low, and it looks good. The audio looks good on either side. Not a lot of low frequency. The frequency doesn't. The audio doesn't start until about 250 hertz. Not a lot of low frequency, but some good, as Mr. Heil would say, good audio punch. So radio is working good. Chrissy is again waving the Robin flag, and thanks you, as I'm sure our viewers and listeners who are Robin fans, or just Tube Radio fans. Actually, that's the best way. Those of us who are Tube Radio fans and live vicariously through our Tube Radio operators thinking, I used to have one of those. I wish I had one of those. We appreciate you guys taking the extra time. So if your radios are warmed up, go ahead and bring them by, because I still have to count them out and sweep up confetti, and somebody spilled something in the green room, so I'll be here for another 5 minutes. So go ahead, over.
Okay, Dennis.
The old Tube Radio Network. In the meantime, let's hear from the jingle singers once again, because they got to earn their pay. We'll be back in about 20 seconds.
Let's do some spelling.
OTR. 27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio. Old Tube Radio.
And just like they said, Old Tube Radio, the best radio, or I guess, well, they're all good, but we, at least here on a Saturday night, we like the Tube radios. I want to say hello to Mike, Mr. Cobra, SWL13, checking in over at oldtuberadio.net. Thanks for stopping by. And Joe, if you're in the air chair, take a transmission.
Sure will there, Dennis. This is my little blue radio. The other one was green. Dennis, I'd like to check in from World Radio Labs, my Hustler radio.
I have a picture of that, I think. Yes. We'll pop it up here quickly. If you like green, you might like blue. Hustler. From the Hustler, World Radio Labs. We've talked about Leo Myerson and World Radio Labs in Council Bluffs, Iowa. Lots of ham radio stuff, and for some reason, he couldn't stop himself and found 7 tubes and a box. And who do you think recommended that blue color? You think they sent it to the prop department, or maybe his wife said, you build these big heavy amateur radios, and they're kind of utility looking, and they're gray, and they look like they came out of the military. Why not build something that we can put in the house, in the kitchen, in the living room, and feel proud of it? So there it is. It's the Hustler. Take a transmission.
Oh, most definitely. I think this one might have been something you might want to even hang in the kitchen there below the shelves. It's not a very big unit, kind of small, and the blue kind of looks nice there where it says that WRL in circles there, World Radio Labs. It has a little indicator light, little neon light that kind of, it's all the time flashing. I thought at first it was an audio tube, but audio light, but it's not. And the meter on it, like I say, is not very big. It's small. Right dead smack in the center of the radio, and off to the right of it is a little speaker which sounds like a 12-inch.
Yeah, I guess you could put an external speaker on if you want. Let me get the replay, see if you can hear it.
In the center of the radio, and off to the right of it is a little speaker which sounds like a 12-inch.
Well, there it is. That's the Larry Cam. You key up. It moves down in frequency, or rather, it moves up in frequency and then stabilizes, and then it slowly, ever so slowly, drifts up, and then it parts itself at about 27.084 and a half. But it's nice and stable. Carries nice and stable. The audio is really good in the 300, 400, 500 hertz range where your voice modulation is. So the little radio that could is doing its thing. Over.
Well, thank you much, Dennis. We appreciate the flowers. And we're also using and transmitting on a Turner Plus 3, getting to be kind of a rare mic to find in one's arsenal, like they should say. Turner Plus 3, this is a battery-operated power mic.
Yeah, you've got it adjusted right. It doesn't sound overmodulated. I don't hear a bunch of room noise. It sounds just like you. I know no AI here. We know it's you. Radio number 7. Couldn't read my writing. Number 7 from World Radio Labs, the exclusive. I don't think you're going to hear one of those anywhere else. Exclusively from Joe and the Old Tube Radio Network. We're glad you are within our receiving range, because you know that brings the ratings up when they know we can see some of these classic radios that a lot of people don't have. Thanks for bringing it by.
Thank you much, sir. It'll be a minute. Let me hook up the other one.
All right, no problem. The Jingle Singers would like to stop by one more time. Here we go.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you, wherever you are. For music and the latest news from home and from afar, the station for you is
OTR, Old Tube Radio.
The station for you is
OTR.
The station for you, OTR. Thanks for joining us this this morning, if you're watching the replay. This is something we do every Saturday, most every Saturday here in the Central Valley of California on channel 1127-085. You might have something, a check-in or a net or just a get on the air night that you do wherever you are at. And it's a fun thing to do. So we encourage it, and we've been doing this for a long, long time, and really appreciate our radio operators and listeners that stop by. All right, Joe is back into the air chair, and we're going to find out what you've got. Over. All right, I think it is fully warmed up. Take a transmission.
I appreciate it. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, these radios have kept the room cozy, not toasty. A good 70 degrees in here with these radios cooking the way they do. Dennis, I'd like to check in my messenger, my Johnson Messenger 223.
All right, the 223, I have one behind my left shoulder here in the background for a little bit of radio nostalgia. For those who have decorated the control room, we'll go to the Rolodex. What I'll do is I'll put up the one that does not have the modulation light first, and I think I have an ad. I might. Do we have the ad? Okay, let me jump into the advertisement, and we'll see what's going on with that. But anyway, take a transmission. I think we're looking good.
Hey, okay, Dennis. No modulation light, not on this one. I wish it did anywhere on the radio. I would really like a modulation light on here. It does have a couple of knobs. It has 3 of them, all look alike. From the selector to the your volume and your squawk switch, you turn it on, and you don't move it. Or there's some going on with that. Anyway, we have got the original desk mic on this radio, and it's strictly bass. I've seen nothing on the back that says that we can go mobile with this one, but maybe we can. No, it's. I think this is hardwired straight into the radio.
Yeah, because it's electronic switching. I'm looking at this advertisement here, which is not in the best of shape. $199.99, sort of, with no microphonium. $214.99, so $215 with the supplied microphonium. And I'm not even going to try to read that. But Waseca, Minnesota, from E.F. Johnson. We'll get back to the radio. A good seller for Johnson for those 3 to 4 years. Sears Roebuck said, hey, could you make one for us? Maybe change it around a little bit. We'll put the Sears logo on it. We'll sell it that way, and they did. Very well built, nice looking, solid radio. For anybody who likes a nice solid piece of equipment and didn't want to have rack handles and utility, this was it. They did a good job. And Johnson was a trusted company. They were making a lot of things. They also came out of the amateur radio community with some great transmitters, the Viking Valiant and the Ranger, and some big transmitters. So a lot of people knew them from that. So good deal. Well built, a great company to work for, and still around in some form, I think. Take a transmission before you go, and we'll pull up the Larry Cam. I don't think we've done that on this one, so we'll see what it looks like.
Okay. Yeah, well, doggone, you're right about that. It's a good-looking radio, good solid radio, stout radio. You put it on the desk here. It's a smart-looking radio. It must have been used a lot, I guess, maybe in companies that maybe had company trucks floating around. It was designed. It looks like it was something you could be always in contact with your drivers. Okay, Dennis, we're gonna get on out of here. I know it's late already. It is Super Bowl weekend, and I know people are getting antsy, and it'll all be over soon. That's all I can say.
Okay, here's the Larry Cam. Let's see if the audio comes to it all.
And I know people are getting antsy, and
all right, good audio. That radio keys up solid. It doesn't move. It keys right on its frequency. Its frequency is just shy of 27085, maybe 20 hertz low. Not much at all. Rock solid. No AC note. Good audio, 5K, 6K on either side. So looking pretty good. That's a keeper. Solid stuff. Radio number 8, the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223. Thanks, Joe, for bringing it by, for warming up some radios tonight. We definitely appreciate it.
Thank you much, Dennis. Thank you much. And that'll be it for me.
All right. Foxman, $100 in 1969, equivalent in purchasing power at about $835.82 today. So those radios, about $1,700 on the equivalent. If you buy with the microphone, it might be a little bit more. Jingle singers are going to say, it is that time. We'll come back and do some counting and amounting. Thanks for staying up late with us tonight in the Old Tube Radio Network. And who's going to win tomorrow, later today? We'll find out.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us.
Old Tube Radio.
And be modern.
All right, I always like that. Stay with us and be modern. And a lot of these radios were modern, especially if you look at the styling on the Pierce Simpson Guardian. What I will do while I'm blathering on about the list here and tubes and things, we're going to head over to, and I think it's up. Yeah, okay, it looks like it's functional. I'm going to head over to the Squamish satellite uplink. I'll put the audio in the background where I'd find the audio, and we'll listen in for the stations. Checking in tonight. They always do a good job. In fact, you know what we can do is go to the video. You'll see them pop in. I think I got a Roger beep there. You'll hear them pop in at 27085. The Old Tube Radio Network. Do a lot to talk here. Tonight, shortwave listeners, we have a total of 57. 15 on page 1, 12 on page 2, 13 on page 3, and 17 on page 4. And hello radio night. Hello radio tonight to Mr. Roman, SWL 92. If you got the home game. If you got the home game, go ahead and fill 92. Right there in on page 4. And we'll look for some check-in. I hope you're enjoying what we do on the Old Tube Radio Network. Hey.
428 Squamish Boys checking in. I'd like to wave a hand to everybody out there. Thanks for doing the show, sir. Pass it back to you, 73.
All right, there's 428 checking in. That's a live check-in from Squamish, British Columbia. There's the great signal coming in on the uplink.
He barely comes in on the program.
Oops. For some reason, I moved off frequency. That's my fault. For some reason, it moved the frequency. So you weren't on sideband. I was just off frequency. Here we go.
Good evening, Dennis. 428, the Squamish Boys checking in. I'd like to wave a hand to everybody out there, and thanks for doing this, sir. I'll pass it back to you. 73.
All right. Sounding good. Back to the studio. Thanks for staying up late here. I always like to do those long-distance live communications. A little help from the Universal Media Netweb and the uplink, courtesy of Victor Echo 7 Hotel Uniform November. Thanks for letting us jump in on the uplink tonight. Let's go to the radios. All right, get the transmitter back on. Let's go to the radios tonight and find out what we did. Tonight, 8 radios. The most heard manufacturer, would you believe? The Pierce Simpson Guardians. The Robins came up there at the end, but the Pierce Simpson did quite well. General Radio Telephone, Super MC11A starting things off tonight, thanks to Chris. Radio number 2, the Pierce Simpson Guardian 23. That was from Green Arrow. They all sounded good. Take a listen to that replay. If you're thinking about getting a radio, if you find one of those. 23 channels, the S meter, a little small, but boy, sure a good transmit audio if it's working right. Harvey checking a couple of his, Pierce Simpson Guardian 23 and the 23B. 23B was a little bit of modification. I've got the 23B. We used it here on OTR. Sean from Sanger are picking the Cobra. He's got a lot of radios from which to choose. He picked the Cobra Cam 88 tonight, a good choice. Nice audio, and we didn't hear from a Cobra. Another good radio if you can find it. 23 channels. Robin T123B from Mike, radio number 5, and that was followed by Joe's Robin T123. So back-to-back birds. Birds of a feather. Radio number 7, actually that'd be radio number 8, was Joe on the Hustler. And then he came by with, moments ago, the F. Johnson Messenger 223. So thanks for joining us tonight. Sorry about the audio issues on the internet. Hopefully it wasn't too bad. I've still got some more cables to figure out here and a lot of things. But were I to just have a tube radio, I'm sure it would be much easier, and I would probably sound even better. 73, everybody. Good night to you. Have a great weekend. Go whatever team, right? I hope your favorite team wins, and if not, go look at Tractors at the Farm Show here coming up this week. The Old Tube Radio Network. Goodbye.
Put this down as honorable mention.
Finding my push to talk. Honorable mention for Radio 10. Anytime we can make double digits, I'm in.
Oh, the Beagle. Okay, let you go. I think you need to get some rest, right?
That would be a good thing. I've been talking too much today, and I think I have a Charlie Alpha Tango, a little pink kitty that would like some treats.
I understand. Catch you next week.
All right, adding the Browning to the list. Let me do this because we missed the Jingle Singers doing the totals.
This is the Old Tube Radio Network. Ladies and gentlemen, stand by. It's time now for the current OTR totals.
All right, 57 SWLs and 10 radios with the Pierce Simpsons being the most heard manufacturer, but we like them all. 73, everybody, the Old Tube Radio Network.
Good night, Dennis.
Or as W2O and V used to say, over.
Good night, Joe.
Good night, Harvey.
And there's Richard. I got you checked in 78 from Wild Wildemar.
Key up your D104 with the squeal in front of it. That looks really neat on the SDR. It's like you're putting Chinese writing on the screen.
All right, I'll put it up on the screen for the last part here, and you see the harmonics of the tones. Here we go. Yeah, that thing's going out 8K wide. Yeah, great DX on 10 meters. Irish guy, thanks for joining us. Daryl, thanks for the good words. The Old Tube Radio Network. Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk people could still have fun on their CB radio in 2024? It's still happening. We've got a great crew, and like I've mentioned many times, we've been doing this on the air with various net controllers and various radios checking in since the mid to the late 1980s. So it can be done. Anyway, as they say on the air, 73. Yeah, Richard, we had a good conversation up and down here on the West Coast this afternoon, like 72.22. The band was just starting to change. The heterodyne was coming in from the BC at 72.20. And 40 has been staying open a little bit later, and then it goes really long, and then it kind of backs up. I talked to Lucas last night, and he was in British Columbia, and he was at 100 watts. But I couldn't hear anybody locally, so 40 is interesting. You never know unless you listen to the SDR and do it that way. All right, we will try it again, and if you don't have TVI tomorrow, if you don't make TVI, tomorrow's a great day to get on the air.